Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a puzzle by Lithium Ion, always a good sign, and recommended by Kenneth's dad, which is another definitely good sign. So, two luminaries, definitely people that I know all about good puzzle construction there, and I'm intrigued to see how this one is going to map out. It's an incredibly sparse grid with a very brief rule set, and that's always an impressive feat of construction. To, what are there, 8, 9 circles in this grid, it looks like, and a really simply stated rule set. One that I think we may have used before, but I think I did a puzzle involving summing the neighboring cells. Anyway, I don't remember, within the last 6 weeks maybe, but I don't know who by. Maybe by Lithium Ion as well, I don't know. Anyway, I will get to the rules in a moment. I'm very impressed by this grid, whatever happens in the solve. Now, don't forget, on Patreon, every first of the month we bring you a new Sudoku hunt. We hope you enjoy them, and the feedback suggests that you almost always do. So do join us. It's $2 or $3 a month, and for that you get Patreon rewards, crossword and gridogram and Sudoku videos. If you're the $3 a month, you can get the solution videos to those Patreon rewards, and I mean there's just loads all the time, so do check them out. Lots of content on Patreon, and it's great fun. And of course there's our apps, which do feature Classic Sudoku 2 and the Worms, and they're very good fun too, and also extremely reasonably priced. And then if you really want to bend your wallet, then try the merch. It's not that expensive, but compared to the apps and the Patreon it is. But it's really good value too, especially if you get the Rat Run merch designed by Marty Sears. So those are all on links under the video. But the first link is to this puzzle, which, it's called Reborn Hooligan Ghost. That feels like an anagram or something, doesn't it? I don't know, it's quite a long one. Neighbor in the American spelling. Neborhig. That would leave Rulan Ghost. Thong. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm on the wrong track. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, should have thought of that before. Maybe it's an anagram, maybe it's not. The rules are normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. A digit in a circle equals the sum of all orthogonally adjacent cells. So those 3 add up to the digit in the circle, those 3 to that, those 4 to the digit in the circle there. Very simple rule. All circles are given, so there's a negative constraint. We won't find any cells where that could apply and a circle could be drawn and isn't. And those are the rules. I mean, that's all there is to it. Orthogonal neighbors. That's what, there we go. That's what, obviously that's what this is, an anagram of, this title, Reborn Hooligan Ghost. Very good, Lithium Ion. That nearly defeated me. Now, I'm going to start the puzzle. Feeling in good form now. Let's get cracking. So, well, I normally say the ones on the perimeters. We've got no circles in corners. There are circles on the perimeter. They're adding 3 digits. No, they're less useful actually than the inner circles, which are quite limited. So the absolute minimum for the cells surrounding this one, say, are a 1, 2 there and a 1, 2 there. And that would add up to 6. But that is really, so there's 3 degrees of freedom to get up to this digit up to 9, the maximum Sudoku digit. And that means we have to allow for there to be maybe a 1-5 pair in one direction and a 1-2 in the other. Oh no, let's look at, no. Let's colour some cells. Look at these, right, first of all, I'm going to colour 2 of those yellow and 3 of them pink. The 3 pink add up to this red digit. The 2 yellow add up to this red digit. And in fact, let's make the yellow pink. The 5 pink add up to the 2 reds. Now, that really does limit us in this box. The pink are at least 15, because they must be the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minimal. The reds are at most... Oh, no, I've missed a cell. That one has to be added in as well. Oh, this is great. That's taken away. I thought there were 2 degrees of freedom, and there's only 1. This is how to approach it. So these in this box add up to at least 15, because they all have to be different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the minimum. That has to be at least a 1. That gets us to 16. So these add up to at least 16, and they obviously, since they have to be different digits, have a maximum of 17. One of them is a 9. This digit is 1 or 2. There's only 1 degree of freedom. And these are either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So these can't be lower than 5. They don't contain 9. And this box... Oh no, this is even better. Why didn't I start in this box? Right. I'm going to surround this digit. Oh, this circle is better than that circle. I thought, I don't know, maybe because this covered more boxes. I thought that was good. That's bad. This one is good. Not really bad, but this one is good because those 3 all have to be different. Absolute minimum of 1, 2, 3 is 6, plus another 1 there. This circle on its own has a minimum of 9. But now I'm going to add in these yellow circles to total for these blue. And now again we've got that minimum here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 1, plus 1, a minimum of 17. And that's exactly what it must be, because that's the maximum for the blue cells. They add up to 17. These are both 1s. This is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This pair is 6, 7. And now that 1 is looking across at this. That's beautiful. Well, I'm glad I did do this box. That's a 2. And that's taken the degree of freedom that we had. This now has to be a 9, 8 pair, because these can only add up to at least 15, plus that 2 is the maximum 17. And now we can take 5 and 8 out of those cells. That's a 6, 7 pair. That's a 6, 7 pair. And that is how to start this puzzle. Right, let's do a little bit of Sudoku candidate reduction. 1s see those digits. 2 only sees those. Okay, that didn't get me very far. But now we go back to this. These cells add up to 7 or 8 to make the total 8 or 9 here. So if they were 7, it's 1, 2, 4. If they're 8, it's 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. There must be a 1 in one of those 2 cells and not here on this circle. And now that digit can't be a 1. And one of these 2 is a 1. For it to be here, this would be an 8 and that would be a 5. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. So what about this circle? Oh, this is tricky, because that's adding to 2 to get to 8 or 9. These are adding to 1 to get to 8 or 9. So these 2 cells have to add up to 7 or 8. I was going to rule 2 out and 5 in, but I'm wrong. There is 1 digit from 5, 4 in here and 1 digit from 3, 2. Okay, so the difference here is that we're adding up to 6 or 7. So it could be 1, 5 or 2, 5. Or 2, 4 or 3, 4. Wow, that's a weird set of possibles. Now, oh, look, this digit, we're in clover with that one. These three all have to be different and they're not 1. That's a 2, 3, 4 set, and this digit is 9. And this one, this is difficult now. This can't be 9. Let's know that 6 is the absolute minimum, because these have to be at least 1, 2, 3, but now they have to have a 1. So there's a 1 in one of those cells. And I suppose we're selecting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That can't be a 1 because of this. And there's a 2, 3, 4, 5 quad in the column. So the other digits in the column, I am over pencil marking, I know, but I'm excited to find anything out here. That's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad. Now, there's a 1 in one of those cells, so this isn't the 1, and we've now found the 1 in this box, thanks to pencil marking. Does that do anything? 1 in this box is restricted to those 3 cells. It would be very surprising if it wasn't on this circle. Just because it's going to be difficult. I should actually just go around the grid. Has this been reduced in terms of possibilities? These cells could be 1 and 3, and that could be a 2. That seems to be, no, that could be another 1 actually. So this has a minimum of 5. I should really do some colouring in this region. Those 6 greens are going to add up to these oranges. Well, that's a minimum of 10, but then plus a 1 and a 1. That only gets us to a necessary minimum of 12 for the oranges. I wanted to do better, if I'm honest. Oh, 2 is looking at that cell. Now, if there was a 5 here, this would be a 5-1 pair, and that would be a 2. If there was a 5 in one of these 2 cells, that would definitely be 8. Oh, look, I've got a 6-7 pair looking at that. It is definitely 8. Blindingly obvious again. Oh, well, where am I going to put 8 in this box? Not now there because of Sudoku, and not in a green cell. I might well be putting it in an orange cell. In fact, I probably am. Okay, I don't know. I was planning to pencil mark it in those, but that's nonsense. These can't have an 8 in. Right, so this definitely adds up to 8. If it was 1, 3, 4, that digit would have to be a 5. This would be, well, 2 or 3. I don't know. I'm struggling to use that. There's a 6, 7 pair. Oh, yes, I see 8 and 9 have to be in these cells somewhere, partly because of the blue-red doubles. I've got to try and focus on these green and, oh, maybe this thing, but nothing has reduced the possibilities here, which is a little irritating, if I'm honest. That digit is 5, 6, 7, or 8. It sees the 2, 3, 4 triple in the box. Oh, I'm sort of stuck again now. Okay, let's have a little think about. Oh, 6 and 7 are looking at that. So that can't be 6 or 7. Now, what is the theoretical minimum here is 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. That's incredibly unlikely, I feel. Oh, I don't, well, it seems unlikely. I mean, I don't have evidence. Oh, I'm sort of getting a bit stuck now. That's weird. I thought this was flowing beautifully. This has had 2, and these add up to 6 or 7. As do these. No, these add up to 7 or 8. Well, there must be a difference there. No, there isn't really. They could be both 7 pairs, and then that would be 9 and this would be 8. Or this pair could be 6 pair and that pair could be an 8 pair. Oh, okay, I don't know. That can't be a 2. That's an absolutely nothing finding. 8 in this column. There's quite a few places it can't be, including all of these. That leaves 3 places it can be. I don't know. Right, if that's a 9, this is a 6-7 pair, and that must be 8. Then that couldn't be 8. And if that's a 9, this is 8. So we'd have 8s there and there. That doesn't seem to do anything at all. Wow, I mean, I don't know. Okay, if that's a 1, this has to be a 2, 3, 4 triple around a 9, and that's a 5. That's the only way this is a 1. And then, yeah, so then we have an 8 here. And we also have a 1, 2 pair. Looking at these cells, they would be a minimum of 3 plus 4, and this would be not 8, so it would have to be 9. So that would be 2. Well, okay, this is a trail that is interesting, and it's all to do with if this is 1, and there are only 2 possibilities for 1, so that's quite interesting. If this is 1, that ends up being a 2, and these can't be 1 or 2 in that case. That would be 2. 2s would be flourishing in these cells. It feels very constrained. If this is a 1, this is a 3, 4 minimum, and that's a 2. Oh, and then this becomes a 5 necessarily, because it sees 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, that's quite interesting as well. So this becomes a 5 with a 2 here. I feel like something's gone impossible now. Yeah, this is good. I think something has become impossible. If this is a 1, that's a 3, 4 pair. Oh, it could be a 3, 5 pair surrounding a 9. Oh, botheration. Right, it's impossible for this to be a 1 and that to be a 3, 4 pair, because this is a 5, that's an 8. That's a 5, that's quite important. If this is a 1, that's a 5, and this digit is 3 or 4, and that stops this being a 3, 4 pair. So this would then, okay, if that's a 1, we are still alive, but this pair is a 3, 5 pair, and that's a 9. Now, that's a 9 with a 1 here. We've got 9 and 1 in these positions. And we're going to push a 1 there. And now this couldn't have a 1 around it at all in that situation. And this couldn't be a 9. So I think this would have to be an 8. These would all be selected from 2 and 3, which at a minimum add up to 7, maybe 2 2s and a 4. But what would have happened up here? We'd have had a 1 and a 3 or a 5 and the 9. Oh, goodness, it's so constrained. It would actually be wonderful if that was the solution. Because then we'd get a lot of information about these cells. we'd be positing the 1 here, maybe that being a 5, so it didn't have to be a 2 or a 3. So it didn't have to be a 3. But it doesn't have, I don't know, I can see a way out. This is always 8. Now, if this is 4, maybe we can just rule that out straight away. Then you've got 1, 1, 2. These are at least a 3, 4 pair. And that would be all, I don't know, it doesn't seem to break down utterly. Okay, that was all founded on this being a 1. So let's look at the alternative of this being a 1, which only keeps 1 out of these cells that seem to matter a lot. Or if I could rule 6 out of these, actually I can't even rule 7 out of these. If that's a 7, these could both be 1s. And well, they couldn't both be 1s because that would break this 1 site here. So that's the only thing that rules a 7 out. I'm now wondering, can there be a 6 in one of these 2 cells? Because if not, I have a 6, 7 pair in the column. If there was a 6 in one of these 2 cells, they would have to be 6, 1. This then couldn't be a 1 because of this pair. It would be a 2. So this would be a 6, 1 pair. This would be a 2. I don't know. I'm barking up the wrong tree, maybe. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. Do I need to study this thing? Which I thought was going to be the best circle and has turned out to be a terrible circle. Oh, these are from 5, 6, 7, 8. I've only just seen that. It's not going to do anything in this row yet. Well, or is it? Who knew that these were too far apart to be helpful by being pushed to the edges of the box? And these could still both be 1s, and then we could have all sorts in the green. Now, I haven't coloured these. Well, I mean, I have, but not properly in a way. So, in fact, let's switch that around. Now, blue is the same digit in both places. Let's get rid of the yellow and the pink. Just in case I could colour 8s and 9s. Blue is in one of those 2 cells. No, that's if it's a 9. If it's an 8, it's there. Oh, yeah, that's annoying. That doesn't tell me which way round they go. If that's an 8, this is 5, 6, 7. But if there is a high digit here, it's 8, and then blue would be 9. It would be good to learn the identity of one of these digits now. Not just keep them both available and juggling in the air, plate spinning. Right, how about if red was a 9, all of these cells are unavailable for 9, and 9 in the box would have to be there. If red was 9, we'd have 9s in these particular positions. There or there. There or there. It doesn't really get anything done. There or there. So one of those 3 and one of those 3. If red was 9, doesn't actually get anything done. Botheration. Oh, I'm missing something huge. All circles are given. I've given that a tiny bit of thought every now and then. I cannot see how it could possibly help anywhere in this puzzle so far, because I mean, it might emerge towards the very end that there were cells like that where they could achieve the 3 around them adding up to the total. But I don't think there are any in this puzzle so far where there's a threat. Even if you go to a corner, These are just, I mean, these two are touching circles, which are huge digits. This one is adding at least that and at least that. There's no way that you could put a circle there or worry about it. I don't know about this corner, but it seems unlikely. So I don't think the negative constraint is a huge deal at all. It'll be very funny if I learn how it is at some point, but I can't see it. So I don't really know how to progress. Obviously, lithium ion and Can It's Dead at least do. What am I missing here? If blue was 9, then one of these could be a 9. It's just not interesting. These digits, I'm allowing fairly high candidates in, and only one of them maximally could be interestingly high. Otherwise, you are kind of looking at 1s and 2s in the orthogonal neighbours in the reborn hooligan ghost. But I don't know how to limit them. I don't know how to solve it as a Sudoku. I do know that there's a lot of pressure on these cells. I get that. I get that there's pressure on the green cells, but it doesn't seem to be anything that really proves. Okay. So one of the things I posited earlier was the minimum total for green, which I said was 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and a pair of 1s here. That pair of 1s is impossible because they all see all of the cells of pink. If both of those were 1s, you couldn't put a single 1 in these pink cells, and you'd have at least 2, 3 in both directions. That adds up to 10, so that's not possible. So at least we can rule out those being double 1. I don't know that that does anything more than move the total for these cells up to 13 as a minimum. Because you could still have, well, if that was a 1, that's a 1, then the only green cell that could, or the only green cell in box 3 that could be a 1 is there. And then you must have a 1 in one of these cells. So that would be the only green cell that could possibly be a 1 after this one. So a 1 here would allow a 1 here, but it would require a 1 in one of these. And a 1 here would require a 1 in one of those, but it would allow a 1 somewhere in a green in box 3. That's less constrained, I think. But there is something going on between these green cells and these pinks. Maybe I have to turn these pink and add up the lot together. Oh, that's an interesting concept. So minimum here is 1, 2, 3. Minimum here is 1, 2, 3. That's 12. Minimum here is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 22 for the total of the 3 cells, the 3 oranges. 22 is not very prohibitive. They don't have to be different by Sudoku. So 27 is the maximum. I'm not really approaching anything that lets me carry on. I don't know. I feel very stuck. What am I missing that's huge and that does some work here? I know there's a 2 in one of those 2 cells. If that was a 2, then what? Then one of those would be a 2. I don't know. One of these is 6 or 7, one of these is 6 or 7. That's totally uninteresting. None of these are 6 or 7. Does one of these have to be 2? Well, okay, let's imagine for a moment, I don't know why particularly, that 1 and 2 were not in the green in box 3 at all. Then these cells would add up to 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 18, plus at least a couple more. We've blown the total for these oranges. So either 1 or 2 is in these, but probably both. So let's think about not both. So if both 1 and 2 weren't in these cells, then 1, 3, 4, 5 is the minimum. That adds up to 13. Plus what we know can't be 1 and 1 here because of this. Maybe 1 and 2. And then we're up to 16. So if we're trying to exclude a 2 from here, we're up to a minimum of 16 for these two. Does that get anything done? That would involve this being a 1. That would be a 2, 3 pair. 5. This would be a 1, 2, or a 1, 3. I don't know. I can't see why it fails. Right, I'm going to go again. The closest I got to achieving anything was positing a 1 in this cell, which forces that to be a 5. It also forces this pair to be 5, 3, we learned, because that's 3 or 4, and in fact is now 4. 1, 5, 4, and a 2, 3 pair left over. But with 5, 3 there and a 1 here, so the 1 here means that these are at least 2, 3. And this can't be more than 3 at that point. But I've said, no, I've said a 1 in this cell. Yeah. And these would be at least 2, 3 equals 5. Oh, but this would have been a 9, so this would have to be kept down to 8. Oh, well, that does accord with the 1, 2, or 3 I was positing here. 2, 3, 3 does that. I don't know. I don't see why that's utterly impossible. Is there even a trade-off of 1s? So if that's a 1, that can't be a 1. So in this pair, for there to be a 1, it has to be here. And then in this pair, for there to be a 1, it has to be here. I mean, that's interesting, but I have not ruled out this having a non-1 in one direction. Wow, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand how we're meant to know. It can't be all circles a given thing. That just, it can't be that. I'm just not even going to investigate it. It's so implausible that it could matter at this stage of the puzzle. The only cell I could ever see that affecting is this corner. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just dreaming or mad. Okay. This is not right. Here's something. This is not a 1, 3, 4, 8. Because that's a 2, 3, 4, 9. And now 3 and 4 would be X-winged out of columns 1 and 2, where they'd have been used both times, and both into that cell, which is impossible. So this is not 1, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 5. I mean, at least I've found something now. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. 3 and 4 are in these cells in the box and not in this cell. This is 2 or 5. And that is forming a pair that adds to 7 or 8 with this digit. Well, this is not 4, is all I've learned from that. That's strange, but it's true. Now, one of these two is a 4. And one of these two is a 4. I mean, it took me, what, 15 minutes to find that that's not a 1, 3, 4? So there's a 2 X-wing now in the same places. There must be a 2 there, and there must be a 2 there. That's using up the 2s for columns 1 and 2, and this digit is a 2. Wow. Okay, well, I found something, guys. I found something. It may not amount to anything, but it's something. Now, this can't be 3 anymore, so it's 5. And this blue is 8, and this red is 9, and we take 5 out of these cells, and that 5 is looking up at this, and that's a 2. Now we've got a 1, 5 pair there. This can't be 2, but there is a 2 around this 9, and we've found it there. Now there's no 2 in this pair, so that's a 1, 3 at a minimum, and this can't be 6 anymore. Minor stuff, I know, but I'll take it. And this 9 has added up. Right, okay, that's made this 8 and this 9. Now, does that help? This 9, if it had a 1 here, this would have to be a 3, 5 pair. And that's impossible. So it does not have a 1 here. Oh, so the thing I went to great lengths to try and prove wrong is right. That is the 1. This is a 5. That's a 3, 4 pair. This digit is a 2. Extraordinary, but progress. Now, these can't be 3, 4 because that would break that. They have to, the most they can be is 3, 5. That's a 1, and this is a 9. We are underway, almost certainly. That's at least 2 and 3. This can't be 4 or 5 anymore. Now it must be 8. I could colour it the proper colour, couldn't I? Just to maintain a tiny bit of consistency. But I've sort of, well, I was going to uncolour all the green. That can't be a 1 anymore. In fact, this can't be a 1 anymore. That's a 5. That's a 1. I mean, that was a perfectly reasonable step, that X-wing. Definitely the hardest step in the puzzle so far, but very fair. And that's a measure of lithium ion all over. And it's a measure of my greatness that I'm prepared to accept that was fair. I'm joking. Now, there's no 8 in those cells, so that's an 8. That's not 8 now. This is getting narrowed down. We will narrow it down to 9, I suspicion, but not yet. Now, this is a 3, 4, 9 triple in the column. 9 is not available in those cells. Right, these clues are done. That 3, 4 pair and that 3, 4 pair will resolve those correctly. That's done. That will resolve the 9 correctly. This is done. This is done. Oh, the 3, 5 pair looks into the corner and keeps 3 out of it. And that's sorted out all the 3, 4s. Lovely jubbly. Now, that can't be a 3. Now I just need to see the Sudoku that eventuates. We've got a 6, 7 pair in the final column, as I always knew we were going to. That's now a 6, 7 pair in the top row. This can't be 9. This is going to get interesting in a moment, but I don't know what's going on yet. If that digit was a 3, this would be at least 1, 4. And that couldn't be 7 anymore. Oh, never mind about that. Let's look at this. These are at least 2, 3 that add up to 5. So this can't be more than 3. And we know it's not 1, so that is 2 or 3. These now, is there 1 degree of freedom since that's not a 1? These are either 2, well, they either add up to 5 or 6. So they're either 2, 3 or 2, 4. Surely that's right. Yes, it is right. And the 2 can't be here. So it's definitely here. Now this can't be a 2 and must be a 3. And now that's a 3 by addition. and that's a 5, and that's a 3. And all of those, well, all of those green cells are done. Now, no 3s around here. These were both 3s. Who saw that coming? And this is at least 1 4 now. And that means this can't be 7 anymore. That's a 9. Now, if that's 1 4, that adds up to 5. These have to add up to 4, which they cannot do with the 3 gone. So that's 1 5, which is 6. These are a 2 and a 1. We know which way round they go, like that, and that sorts out the 5 and the 1. And that's all the given clues done. Now, we might still bump up it. Look, negative constraint. There it is. 2 and 5. I was right that cell might end up having to avoid something. And it does. It's not allowed to be a 7, or it would be in a circle. Oh, well, I'm calling that insight. I'm suddenly going from thinking I was having an absolute terror, a mare of a solve, to thinking I've done some smart things today. Don't often think that. That's a 4-7 pair, and there's a 6-7. I mean, obviously, it is your job now to just mock me in the comments for the things I was missing and the very obvious point earlier on that I must have missed, etc., etc. And feel free. But I'm quite happy with this solve. I'm quite happy with this solve. Right, that's not 5. That's 4, 6, or 7. That's not a 5 or a 7. Just when I repeated I'm quite happy with this solve there, I'm going to make the point that, especially during a global sporting event, I really can't abide commentators and colour people who repeat what they've just said again as though it emphasises it more. That's a great goal. That's a great goal. That sort of thing. Madness. Anyway, there we go. Little bugbear off the chest. That is not a 5, so we found 5 in the top row. That is 4, 6, or 9. I don't like the colouring. I don't like the full amount of pencil marking I'm having to do here. So let's be smarter. These are from, that is not 3, so we found 3 in the bottom row. Then we can find 3 in the central box. And that's, yeah, okay, that doesn't make a mockery of the pencil marking I was doing here. Oh, but these are 5, 8, 9 in this row now. And we know which one is 5 thanks to the 5s we've got. So these are our infamous red and blue. That one is, oh, I've used different blues for some reason. I guess that's why they call it the blues. Right, well, that's an X-wing on 8s. That puts 8 here. So we still needed, well, I needed another X-wing. I'm sure I didn't need another X-wing, but I used it and enjoyed it. X-wing's such an amazing tool for Sudoku. Do learn all about them. They help in a lot of ways. That can't be 1. That's a 1. Right, now. Feel like this is easy, isn't it? That's a 7 to complete the row. That sorts out 8 and 7. Okay, I'm getting rid of the 8 and 7 colouring. I think I get more complaints for leaving colouring in than for taking it out. Although that might be wrong. Anyway, 9 there. We need a 2 in one of those. We've got a 4 in one of those. Uniqueness tells me there's no 4 here, but I'd rather the puzzle told me that. Something very easy somewhere. This can't be 7. 7, 6, 3. That can't be 7. 7 is in one of those cells. 6 can't be there. So we found 6 in box 2. Now this is 7 down at the bottom, and that's 4. And that 7 is going to sort out my 6 7s at the bottom of the grid. And in fact, that's all the 6 7s I had left. Those can't have a 4 in. They resolve as 2 6. That gives me 2 4. That gives me 9 4 and 9 4. and 9-8 down here, blue and red. There we go. What a fabulous puzzle that is. Congratulations. You solved the puzzle whose title, I knew this, or I worked it out in the end, is an anagram to orthogonal neighbors. And it's a very good one. And I love that I hope that nobody's going to tell me you didn't need to work out that cell was a negative constraint cell, because I saw it coming and I shot it down when it arrived. I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching on the channel. I've had a great time again today, and I'd love it if you'd join us tomorrow. Bye for now.